this was the week where I found out, at least, about an anti-vax conservative on TikTok who fell into a trap of her own making when she launched into a lengthy diatribe about why the vaccine is free, and then just sort of stepped into an actual progressive talking point. Take a look.
Let me ask you this. If giving out free COVID vaccine shots is the health of the nation, then why don't they give out free chemo? Why don't they give out free insulin? Food for thought. If the government really cared about people, they would make stuff like that for free. So it should make you think as to why they're pushing this free vaccine. Let me ask.
Yeah. Look, I get why the right loves private property, because they're so good at self-owning. She's like, it's just amazing. She's not wrong. Yeah, it is weird that the government would help us. It's like they finally realized maybe they shouldn't let us all die, like maybe us living helps the country. But she's proving this point. She's proving the point that in these extenuating circumstances, healthcare should be free, and maybe in all circumstances, like cancer treatment, like insulin, shit should be free. But like her reaction is the opposite. It's just no. Well, the government doesn't love you, so there.
I've noticed with a lot of conservatives, when you're arguing with them, it's not even necessarily about what it is. It's just being contrary. They've just got to argue against everything, and that sometimes they're not even like really thinking about what they're saying or thinking about the ramifications. And the sad part about this woman is she's talking about really progressive things, but I don't think she's advocating for them. I think that she would be finished with this little thing and still think, oh yeah, people need to pay millions for chemo and people need to pay millions for this, so people should be paying for this thing, so I mean, she's stumbled upon the right thing, but I think she's still on the wrong side of history.
Totally. Ass backwards. It's the same right. I mean, that's the thing. Her idea is like, well, I feel like if she finished the thought, it would have been, that's why they're microchipping us with the vaccine. That's why they are, because they don't care about us. Otherwise, we would have free insulin. And it's interesting because you realize, like, what is it from World War II or from even before, but like the old saying of like, anti-Semitism is like the ignorant man's socialism. Or you could say racism or xenophobia is the ignorant man's socialism, in a way that, like, because it's like, look, they identify the problem, but their solutions are like, well, that's why Marxism has to be eliminated from the country, or that's why, Ilhan Omar is the devil, or that's why Bill Gates is trying to control us through the microchip. It's like, or that's why Q drops are the only truth. It's like taking the easy off ramp to an honest problem. But you can also not blame someone like her for like looking at the fucking state of healthcare and being like, oh yeah, the government doesn't care. Why wouldn't they give us free stuff? Anyway, I do think there's someone in the comments who's saying that, the left and the right have a lot in common. I would agree, but again, they're being duped by people who are super pro-corporate, who would never allow insulin to be affordable or free, right? And they would more easily buy into, and this is the thing, it's like, you gotta be positioned for a certain amount of racism and simplicity if you can float the idea that, yeah, let's just blame immigrants, or let's blame people of color, let's blame BLM, let's blame Antifa or whatever, and just grasp onto that intellectually, then grasping onto, no, actually we need, workers unions, we need to organize, we need healthcare for all, we need, economic justice, etc. She actually, go ahead.
No, you're fully right. And it's also a situation where people just don't want to put the blame on capitalism, because capitalism is supposed to be the best thing, but it's ruined a lot.
Hey, thanks so much for watching the Bitchuation Room podcast live stream. And while you're here, why don't you just subscribe to this channel? I promise it'll be good.